Welcome, our fellow lovers of love, and thank you for joining us on yet another excursion through the stream of consciousness, down the river of tranquility, to fill the lake of life with love.
And good evening, our fellow lovers of love out there on this chilly January evening. I guess it is an evening here for us. Hopefully for you, it's actually late night and 2 in the morning, and it's probably dang cold if it's 2 a.m. in the morning in January. Yeah. So welcome to all of us. We want to let you know that you can send your love letters to us here at love@latenightLove.us. You can always find stuff that you're interested in, past shows at latenightLove.us, and all the various good, fun things. So why are you wearing my sweatshirt tonight, Lovey? That's an ugly sweatshirt to start with.
So we are deep into football season right now. And I looked for the most football-y-ish sweatshirt that I could find. And I mean, look at it. It even gives me the shoulders and everything. And I got the football vibe going on.
Yeah, I don't have any football shirts.
Yeah.
I got a couple of basketball tank tops, but those don't work in January.
No.
Unless you're inside of basketball right now. So, no, that's how that works. Oh, okay. Thought it was an interesting story instead of just feel like a football shirt.
It is. That is an interesting story.
Okay.
It's football. Now we can talk about football.
Oh, we could say that the football game is actually on the monitors here as we're recording this. Not that the sound is on or all.
I know.
Paying attention to it.
I know. It is on. And you've done that before.
It is on.
And I find it distracting.
Well, don't look at it.
I know. I try not to.
But in this episode of Late Night Love, we dive deep into the complexities of relationships, from the tensions between a husband and wife over beloved cats to a best friend's wedding with an ex. We explore the raw emotions and tough decisions that come with love and friendship. Parenting queries and workplace dilemmas also take center stage, bringing a mix of humor, empathy, and real talk. So tune in for genuine advice, candid conversations, and the comforting reassurance that you're not alone navigating life's twists and turns. So there. Yes. How's that?
Yes.
All right. So
I do have to say your hair's looking really good.
Yeah. I didn't put it in a thing today because it's not quite dry. Right. I should leave it out for every now and again. It's probably not good to always have it back. I probably have it back too much. I probably don't take it out.
Well, if it had its own Facebook account, then you'd have a reason for leaving it out.
Like, I'm going to take the time to have make my hair a Facebook account.
You'll have to do your style, whatever styling that you do to it, and let me take a picture before you go to work every morning.
I don't do any styling to it.
Well, whatever magic you do.
I literally ran a brush through it an hour ago. That's what I did.
And you got these delightful curls. God.
Well, those just happen all by themselves. All right, so we got relationships. We're going to kick right off.
You know how much money people pay for that?
Okay, sounds like a personal problem for them, not me. So stop paying a bunch of money to get hair. Just be born with it and you'll be all right. Okay.
Can you scroll up just a little bit? Let me see where we're at. Okay. Okay, good.
Yeah, we're at the top one.
All right.
All right. So what do we got first?
Okay, my husband wants us to get rid of my cats so that my mother-in-law can live with us. How do I tell him I will not get rid of them? Okay, she's not allergic to the cats. She just don't like them.
Well, okay, there's something here. They're in their mid-20s, early to mid-20s. This may be a financial decision to have mom come live.
Ooh.
And so, but no, if mother is coming to live with you in her house, it is actually mother that is the one who has to compromise, not you. I mean, there can be some compromises in there, but, about, okay, the cats don't go in mother's room or something like that.
Yeah.
That type of thing. Maybe you put the litter box in a different spot. Or, those type of adjustments can be made. But generally speaking, I'm gonna side with the young lady here that um, you're not talking an allergy, and you're talking a preference. And unless there's some catastrophe that mother is dealing with, but even then, if your mother's dealing with a catastrophe, and
Well, she's a widow.
yeah, well, you cope. You don't come into somebody else's house demanding they change their lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you stick with that. But it's there comes a point in every young man's life where he has to choose his wife over his mother. It's very difficult for them.
It's very difficult for them. Yes.
Yeah, because
yes.
Yeah. But it has to happen. So, okay, what's next?
My best friend is getting married tomorrow with my ex. How do I get over? How do I recover from this?
There's nothing to recover from. It didn't work out with you, and it works out for them. Great. You should be happy for both of them that they found a relationship that works.
And I'm certainly, did this like sneak up on you or something? Didn't you? I mean, you had to have been witness to the courting and the engagement. Did you go to the engagement party? Were you invited? I bet you were.
My suggestion would be you're not a victim here. There's nothing to recover from. This is just how life works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be happy for them. Be happy that two people found something that works. You didn't work. They were an ex for a reason. Remember that. Unless you're thinking, oh, I messed up by having an ex. But my suggestion is remember why they're your ex and be happy that your friend, that two people you care about, clearly cared about him at one time.
Yeah.
So two people you cared about have found happiness. Great. There's nothing awkward. You're not a victim. It's just moving on. That's what to do. And to be fair, she's 27, so this is probably the first time she's had to deal with this kind of thing. But and I get the emotional reaction, right? There's nothing wrong with the emotional reaction. What you deal with it is the issue. And what you deal with it is say, that's valid. It's a valid emotion, but it's wrong. Tell yourself that. It's a valid emotion. It's just wrong. It's misplaced. It's misguided. Okay. What do we have next?
Girlfriend wanting to break up over my answer to her question about whether I talk about other women with friends. Is this rational? Okay, what they do is they sit in bars and they make comments. Ooh, what do you think about her? She's cute, And
here's the question.
This is what they do. These guys get together and sit in bars and they have a couple beers. They do this and then they go home to their wives.
Yeah. Yeah. In fairness to her, I can kind of understand the annoyance.
I'd be annoyed, but I'm not gonna break up.
I mean, it seems a little extreme. Now, to be fair, he's 29. He should be over this kind of thing by now. She's 23, and she's not emotionally mature enough to handle these properly, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the strange thing. As a man becomes mature enough to not engage in this type of behavior is about the same time the woman becomes mature enough to not be overly anything but annoyed by it. You know what I mean? So generally speaking, these things kind of work themselves out in that sense. So my guess is, here's this, both of them need a little maturing to do.
I think so too.
I mean, that's not really behavior of a 29-year-old man, but it is kind of the behavior of a 23-year-old woman.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, they're both immature both acting immature in this thing. Grow up, stop talking about people. It's got nothing to do with your relationships. I mean, it's one thing if you're talking about, celebrities and whatnot. You're never going to bring any of those home. There's no chances. It's kind of, it's like looking at the pictures in a girly magazine. There's no chance any of those are going to have fine, whatever. But the girl at the bar, theoretically, you could run into her again at the grocery store or something, and it could create an awkward situation. So you don't talk about those people. There's a difference between those two. And so if you, as your friends, you want to sit around and talk about people who are untouchable, you're never going to see them. And even if you do, you're never going to get your mouth to work properly to speak to them. So those people are kind of, I don't want to say free game, but are more acceptable to have those type of discussions about than average normal people who you're walking around. Okay. In that kind of sense. I'm just saying, from a don't be creepy kind of perspective. So don't talk about other women with your friends, and she should be mature enough to not be more than mildly annoyed. How's that? So both of you grow up. There's my answer to that question.
And that kind of stuff. We're slightly disappointed in you for a while, but we get over it.
Yeah.
We get over it. And, it's just like, turns out he's human.
As if you guys don't talk about attractive men you see.
I do.
That's what I'm saying. Women, don't be hypocritical as women are looking at all the.
But I'm looking at hair and stuff.
Yeah. Saying.
I don't know what happened. I used to go in for the muscles, but now I'm like, that's nice.
Okay, what do we have next?
How could I get my friend to accept my relationship with my sister's ex-boyfriend?
You don't. You just have a good relationship with your current boyfriend, regardless of who it is. Now, being your sister's ex is a little weird, but it's not actually abnormal. It's strangely normal, but it does seem a little weird.
It's a little awkward.
Yeah, I suppose is probably the better question.
Yeah.
But there's nothing you can do to get someone to accept a relationship other than for your relationship to be good.
And then people just naturally accept it because they see you're happy.
You're happy, the relationship's productive.
Positive.
And everybody's moving. And if they're not, then you don't want them in your life anyway.
Mm-hmm. If they're going to be that judgmental.
Yeah, you can understand them having an adjustment period. It takes a little while for them to cope with it. They're human beings. You don't expect more than you would in these situations. But that's mine. But yeah, the whole sister. It's one of those.
I always put that off limits.
But historically speaking, it happens a lot.
I don't want to. My sister's too important to me. I'm not gonna risk it.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying. Like I said, it seems weird, but it happens a lot. So maybe there's just two vastly different schools of thought on it. Never those two perspectives shall meet, type of thing. All right, what do we have next?
My boyfriend doesn't believe he could possibly have bad breath. How do I approach it? Again? Yeah.
That's an interesting question. You don't. You get his friend to do it for you. Friends can tell you things that you're not going to hear from your wife. That would be my mother. Maybe mothers can do that too. Or the how to approach it, because that's such an individualist thing. It's hard for me to give a.
No, I'm wondering if he knows, but he knows he should go to the dentist, and he's afraid of the dentist.
Well, it could be 100,000. It could just be what his diet is. I don't want to make any assumption.
I'm just wondering.
Yeah. Oh, Well, it would be highly typical for men to be ignoring something. My suggestion is he thinks he takes care of his teeth, he does all the proper things, and there's no way it happens. But because he's got a strange diet, he's
Okay.
that could be another potential possibility. So that's what I mean. Talk to his mother because his mother's going to understand where he's coming from, and then you can, or you tell his friend to deal with it. Just to, because it's such an individual thing. It can be those two extremes or anything in between. Could be having just a bad tooth, or I kind of suspect he's got a weird diet, just because of the way it's. She didn't say that he's got bad dental hygiene, so he's obviously got bad breath.
Yeah.
And so there's there's a medical issue that needs to be dealt with, or there's a dietary issue that maybe has to be changed, or you can find something to balance it out. Foods that you can balance that kind of thing out if it's a diet. So my suggestion is to ask his mother for more information, if that is still a viable option, and if not, go to his friend and ask his friend to deal with it. Because his best friend can be brutal to him in ways you can't, and he may need that. He needs your love and support, a different kind of support thing. And best friends can tell you things in ways that so you can hear it. They don't care. They don't have to sleep with them at night. They don't have no relationship. They just get to go home, Call me next week when he calms down. It's fine. So that's what I'm saying. All right, what's next?
Found deleted texts on my partner's phone, and no, there are more missing. Is there any non-suspicion reasons he would delete?
Well, it depends. Lots of people delete conversations that are done.
I do.
Yeah.
I just have a few that I keep my frequents, and everybody else
just so they don't have to sort through them when they're looking for something. And, some people are fastidious and neat that way. That by itself is not a sign of anything suspicious. Some people like to keep their inboxes clean. That's what it is. Now, if they generically don't like to keep their inboxes clean, and now they're all of a sudden keeping their inboxes clean, okay, then that might be suspicious. A change in behavior, I suppose you could consider suspicious. But simply someone that keeps their thing clean is nothing. And now, of course, the question is, why are you looking for deleted text?
Why are you looking through his phone?
Yeah.
Is there something else going on that made you suspicious, or are you just?
Or were you just?
Maybe you need to talk to him.
Or were you just looking through his phone, notice that hey, there's deleted messages here. That's kind of strange, and then get suspicious.
Do people look through their partner's phones?
Well, not necessarily look for it, but look, on occasion, I'll go in the middle of the night. I can't find my phone, right? And because our phones are different, you have an iPhone, I have an Android. I get lost and confused in your phone, and I end up in spots where I don't realize I am. All I want is a dial pad, And then I can't get out of it. And so it happens. And I leave my phone. Everybody knows everybody in the house knows the code to my phone. So
I don't. I forget.
I'm not going to tell you here, but
okay.
Everybody knows my phone. So it's an open secret. You can go in there. Knock yourselves out.
I know everybody knows mine. I don't. There's nothing I do in there that I don't mind sharing, and that really, because we have that. When we first got together, we had an open policy on our phones that the other one can look anytime they want to. Go ahead, And because I had that freedom,
Don't feel
I
the need.
felt I don't feel the need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't look through your phone. It's just every now and again I can't find my stupid phone, so I go for it. And I get lost in that dang thing. I just want the dial pad. Where am I? Yeah, I get lost in that dang thing. And I haven't had to use the new one, so God knows what that's going to be like next time I touch that thing.
It's the same as the other one.
Well, I couldn't use that one either, so. Okay, what's next? Stop being so overly suspicious unless there's other reasons. There's nothing suspicious about missing text. Lots of people, including my lubby here, deletes text messages. I'm too lazy to do that. I do, on occasion, accidentally delete things. You know, I forget which slide left is archive or slide right is delete or something. And not that I mean to do either one of those, but, you know, my fingers sometimes twitch. And so I'll send something to delete or archive that I don't mean to, but I'll screw it. I don't care. It's not an important one. And so things happen. Don't be overly suspicious without need. But see, here's actually my thing. She's 25. He's 34. I wonder if she's just feeling insecure in her relationship.
Mm.
And so she's looking for things to justify her insecurity.
Could be. Which brings me back to one of my statements. Maybe she needs to talk to him. You know, and tell him I'm feeling insecure.
Yeah. But if they have depending upon their phone policy, depending upon how much they care, it may be a violation of trust.
Well, she doesn't need to share that she went through his phone unless she
Well, you're
can
gonna have
say I'm feeling insecure.
Yeah, she's going to have a hard time having an honest conversation without revealing that. So.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, what a tangle web we have weaved. So, anyway.
I know. If I went through your phone, I wouldn't be able to not tell you.
And go through my phone. Good luck with that. I don't do much. Actually, it wouldn't be that hard. There's nothing on there. I don't do very much with it. It's an overly expensive communication device. Is what it is. Okay, what's next?
Husband shared that his mom thinks I only want to take his money. How do I ever face her again?
You just keep doing your thing.
Just treat her like you always have. Don't treat her any different. Just put on a good face and just,
Yeah, you take some acting lessons and essentially you pretend you never heard it.
You do. Yeah, you do.
That's
your mother-in-law, man. Sorry.
And
but she's yours now.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do. It's not, if you try to do anything, it's not going to change anything. So it's one of those things where let sleeping dogs lie because it's really not relevant.
It doesn't matter what she thinks. It matters what your husband thinks. So there you go.
Yeah. Okay.
My boyfriend has a female friend. Their friendship has been for about 17 years. They grew up together in the same neighborhood. I asked him to cut her off for certain reasons. What should I do?
Go apologize. Say I overreacted.
Definitely. Sorry. Both in agreement on that one.
Yeah, if they were going to have a relationship, it was going to happen.
Long time ago.
Yeah, they probably explored that option, decided it was a really bad idea.
They probably already covered that, dude. They just didn't want to,
No.
They just don't burden people with it.
You don't ask people to surrender their long-term friendships for your relationship. You just don't. That's asking people to fundamentally change who and what they are. You're melding your worlds. You're not dictating them. Now, will his relationship with her change as yours evolves? Of course it will. Just like his relationship was his best friend of 17 years. As your relationship evolves and deepens, their relationship is going to change a little bit.
It will.
It will. But guess what? It's going to change anyway. As you get older, as you go from your mid to late 20s into your mid to late 30s and then into your mid to late 40s, relationships change. need things, people move, jobs, blah, 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 blah. She's going to get into a relationship. Simply time is going to change the time to have to do and continue on. But especially since you are just now a boyfriend and he has no obligation to give you up for a long-term friendship that has been trustworthy and supportive. You try that power move and you're going to lose.
Well, just ask him to choose between him and his kids. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's you're going to lose.
You and his kids. Yeah.
That's not a winning perspective.
Can't do it, dude. The heart is there, man. 17 years, please.
Now, it's perfectly reasonable to express that, I know it's wrong, but I'm feeling uncomfortable with this.
Have you ever thought of getting to know her, spending time with her? It sounds like she must be a pretty great person.
It's perfectly okay to sit there and express your feelings about the situation to your boyfriend. As long as you make sure he understands it. You're not asking him to change his relationship. The real problem isn't his relationship. The problem is how you're interpreting it. Once you start to change that in your mind as well, it will help. Because it is the problem with your interpretation. It's not his relationship. It's not the problem. It's your interpretation of that relationship that's the problem. And so it's okay. It's probably good for your relationship for you to discuss that with him. Not to ask him to change it, just so he understands what you're going through. Just so he understands why that you're working through something. And as long as you're working through it, then it's acceptable. If you're unwilling to work through it and demanding he change, then you're wrong and you're gonna be the one out. Because you're not because you're demanding he drop his best friend, but because you're showing you're not long-term relationship material. You're going to demand other people change for you rather than you work it yourself into other people's lives. You're still boyfriend and girlfriend. You're not even a fiance type situation yet. What?
I just think that if she took the time to become her friend too, that would solve a lot of this problem.
It might, and it might be the logical course, but she's not going to be able to do that until she changes her mindset on this. That the problem isn't their relationship, the problem is her. And once she accepts that, then a friendship or building a relationship with the person will be possible. But if she doesn't get to there, she's not going to be able to change her perspective. I'm not saying not to eventually try to develop a friendship with his friend. So I'm just saying she has to change her perspective.
She does.
Yeah. Okay, we are on to some parenting questions.
Okay. I let my 13-year-old son play 15 minutes of video games a day. How do I explain to him this is way more than enough?
But it's not.
There's not, dude.
Sorry. There's literally no video games that a 13-year-old is going to want to play that only take 15 minutes. If you wanted to, say, limit it to 2 hours a week, and he can choose when that 2 hours gets done, if it ends up being one day, okay, fine. But he can actually play a game in 2 hours. He can do something in 2 hours. You can't do something in 15 minutes. It's not enough. It's just annoying. You're better off just telling him no video game. Because it's essentially what you're telling him now. But dangling a carrot in front of him and letting him barely lick it and then taking it away. It's
kind of mean.
Yeah. That's mean. It's literally less mean to tell him to say no video games at all.
Yeah.
It's literally less mean.
Less mean. Truly.
So if you don't want to play video games, you think they're so bad, just say no. Just take them away and say no. Or you're going to have to compromise and give him more time as he gets older and shows responsibility for it. And maybe, you're giving him what? At 15 minutes a day, it's an hour and 45 minutes. So give him 2 hours a week. And he can choose when those 2 hours. Maybe it's an hour on Saturday nights and, or something, 2 hours on Saturday nights with his buddies, with his friends. But also remember the video games, especially these days, they're not just wasting time. They're building communication skills. And I can tell you, my own son, he does replays for sporting events, basketball games and football games. He works the replay machine. He is only good at it because of his skill at playing video games and the ability to multitask, and think and type and speak and listen and do all these various things at the same time that he's been practicing his entire life playing video games. So he sat down in front of a replay machine, and it was second nature because he's been doing essentially the same thing.
Who is this?
Anthony.
Yeah, I thought so.
He sits down.
Nobody tells me anything.
He's good on replay machine, and yeah, it's transferable skills. Now, not everybody's going to run a replay machine in a booth, but the point is, you don't know what's the future skills he's going to need. You don't know what relationships, what network he's going to build in his video games.
And it is social.
Yeah, there's the social element to it.
There really is.
And what is he otherwise doing? He's not playing video games. What is he reading? Fiction novels? That's just entertainment too. But he's reading. No, he's reading fiction novels. There's no higher education value to a novel about, reading some Star Wars novelette than there is playing a video game with his friends. We always talk, all these girls, they say, well, I read 10 books a month. Yeah, but they're all romance novels. You're reading essentially the same book. And I'm not criticizing you taking the time and entertaining yourself with romance novels. But it's not the same thing as you reading something from Shakespeare or reading the latest news information from the scientific community or historical, whatever it is. It's not the same thing. I'm not saying it's not valuable. I'm just saying it's not like you're educating yourself on some topic. You're chewing bubble gum, which is fine. Everybody likes to chew bubble gum. I have no problem with it. Just don't pretend to me. I'm reading 2 books. Yeah, don't pat yourself so hard on the back because you're reading, or Dimeback Westerns. You're not learning anything from reading a Dimeback Western in the old days. You're just entertaining yourself, which is fine. And so if he's just entertaining himself, well, then let him choose his own entertainment. He has so much entertainment time a day. Let him choose what is entertainment.
I like the 2 hours a week.
Well, if you're going to be strict, if you're going to be 15 minutes a day strict, we'll compromise and give it to him in a useful chunk.
Please.
Yeah. Or just say no. Okay.
Is it abusive to ask a 4-year-old kid to clean up their mess after dinner? They're at the dinner table, he's done eating, and all of a sudden he's too tired to do anything. Mm-hmm. He can't, he's pathetic. It's time to go to bed. He needs to go lay down, watch TV. He can't do anything else.
Well, no, it's not abusive, but also it's a 4-year-old cannot be expected to just pick up after dinner. Kind of know to pick up that. You have to actually instruct them. Pick up your thing, put it in the sink. Pick up your plate, put it in the sink. You actually have to tell them, which is why parents end up not doing it because it's more work for them to actually, because they're 4. They don't know. And yes, they will try to get out of it if they can.
You and your bossiness.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no, you don't get to watch TV. No, you can be done and walk away, but there's no TV until you put your dishes in the sink. So you clean up your dishes. So you pick up this cup and you put it over there. Pick up your plate and you put it over there. You know? Okay, good. Now you can go lay down. No, it's not abusive, but you have to you have to keep your expectations reasonable at the same time.
Okay.
Your 4-year-old is never going to be able to clean up their mess after dinner. It's not going to happen. Just because they're not capable of actually cleaning up their mess after dinner. But what they can do is learn the basic steps of cleaning up their mess after dinner.
With taking dishes.
Taking dishes, moving things around.
Yeah.
Yes, they can learn the process.
Clearing the table.
Do you really want to have a dishes washed by a 4-year-old? I don't. I'm going to wash those things myself. Thank you very much. But they can learn the process. They can start learning the process. So lower your expectations. And yeah. So no, it's not abusive. There you go. Okay.
Are you worried about your children's future? Yes, and it never ends. My children are soon to be 44, 39, and the youngest is 30. And I worry every day.
Well, hey, the question says our children. I mean, this probably should have put this as a life question or put it as the opening theme for the show. Would have been a better spot for this one. Are we worried about our children, like our grandchildren's future, the future of the children, the society's future?
My bad.
Okay, that was a good answer because it's for a young parent. As people are worried about this, yeah, you never stop, and you never stop worrying about your children. And quite frankly, you can go back in history and read the tiles from ancient Egypt and the scripts from ancient Rome and whatnot. And yeah, all the parents were saying the same thing. So no, you never stop worrying about your children. But our children's future, yes, everybody. Again, you can go back to ancient Rome and scripts, and everybody's always been worried about the future. This next generation is the worst generation ever. Is like happened in every generation.
Every generation I've been around since I've been around,
and
it's supposed to be just we don't understand them.
Well,
and they're doing the exact same thing you did.
I think people forget. There's two problems with this. One, as Taylor Tomlinson said, in her 20s, everybody in their 20s is trash, right? You're garbage. You're hotter garbage, but you're still garbage, right? You know nothing. And the worst part of knowing nothing at that stage is you think you know everything. That's the worst problems about your 20s. Not that you know nothing. It's perfectly fine. Nobody knows anything in their 20s. That you think you know stuff is the problem. So we're all garbage in our 20s. And so people who are in your 50s and 60s.
Yeah, but they got these wonderful high ideals.
Yes.
It's just so cute.
Exactly. And us sitting in our 60s are going, oh, that's so precious. Or it's either, oh, that's so precious. These people are nuts. They're stupid. What are they doing? And those are the two kind of, but it's, in 40 years, those people who are now in their 20s are going to be looking back at people in their 20s going, oh, isn't that precious? These people are stupid. What are they doing? We're going to be in the same place. But you know what?
Rinse, repeat. It's sorry.
History over a course of 50 years, life gets better. You can have a decade and a half where life can go to crap. But generically speaking, over the course of 50 years, the future is always better than the past. It always is. Whether that's because of the young are rebellious and stupid and all the various things they are, or because we worry about these things and we help them become not those disastrous as they grow older into the 30s and 40s and 50s. It's irrelevant. That's evolution has taken care of that for us. We just generally speaking, make things better. If that wasn't true, we wouldn't be here. Civilization would have ended a long time ago.
That's true.
You know, and we've tried to end civilization a couple times. And, well, actually more than a couple. If you go, depending how far back in history you want to go. We've tried to end civilization a number of times. So, yeah, life is getting better. Am I worried about the children's future? Yes and no. I'm worried about the details. I'm not worried about the long-term grand scheme.
I have faith in youth. I really do. Their enthusiasm, again, those high ideals, really shooting for the stars. Gotta love that.
I have faith that they will, as always, mature, become more reasonable as they get older, while still holding on to the desire to become better.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, hopefully, some of their hows to become better changes, but usually does. So, like I said, do I have worry? Am I worried about details? Sure. In the grand scheme of things, am I worried? No. And I don't think there's a contradiction there. Some of the details scare me, but in the long run, I think we'll be fine.
AI scares the bejesus out of me.
Yeah, so this telephone scared people, so I'm not really worried about it. Okay, what's next?
How often do you let your baby try to feed themselves with their fingers? Is it important? Baby's 9 months old. Actually, yeah, it is important. You actually give them little finger foods, Cheerios. Is a good one. To let them, it's pincher. They need to learn that pincher move and get it down.
Yeah, well, that's their fine motor skills. They're starting to learn their fine motor skills. Yeah, and how to get stuff to their mouths, and everything's a process. And my theory on this has always been is the babies are ready to try to feed themselves when they're trying to feed themselves. So the minute the baby's trying to hold the bottle, I let them try to hold the bottle. The minute they're trying to, put food in their mouths, then you give them some food to put in their mouth. Whatever age appropriate. Yeah. Babies know what they need. Instinctively. You just kind of follow their lead. And you notice if they're falling behind and you can kind of encourage something, but generally speaking, they'll tell you what they need. They'll tell you what stage they're ready for. Okay.
They're pretty, babies are.
Yeah.
It's just the watching and the wondering, is it now? Should I intercede now? Or should I wait another week? That's the worry, all that in there. That's what takes up all the emotions.
Yeah, but
that's what makes it an emotional topic.
But generally speaking, a few days of the week, Mike, should I wait? It's not going to matter. Now, should I wait a month? Yeah, okay, that's an actual thing. Should I wait a week? Well, if you're talking about a week, it's probably fine now. Just want to say. Okay, what is it next?
Is it healthy to be this obsessed with my baby? 7 months.
It's normal to be that obsessed with your baby at 7 months.
You really need to be that obsessed because they are very needy right now.
Yeah.
They need a lot of you.
I think nature kind of has taken care of that. Most people are kind of obsessive about their 7-month-old babies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nature does that. You're perfectly normal. How's that? That to make you to reassure you, it is perfectly normal to be completely obsessed with your 7-month-old baby. Nothing wrong with you. Congratulations. You're a good mother. Prerequisite. That's the first thing, right? You genuinely care about, want to make sure that baby has a future and is taken care of, and part of that is being obsessed with it in that first year. Luckily, the first 2. You could have argued the first 5. But she's passed the first test. Right? Congratulations. You passed your first good mother test.
There you go.
Baby made it to 7 months, and you are happily obsessed with it.
Yay!
Yay! Okay.
I'm worried my teenage son's friend has a crush on me. And this is a teenage boy and the dad of his friend.
Yeah.
So, now what gets me, now these boys are close, right?
Uh-huh.
And they were out swimming in the pool.
Uh-huh.
And he made a comment about his arms being left.
Yeah.
And this guy's freaking out.
Well, that could depend upon how the comment was made. Context clues on that one. It could be nothing. It could be, he knows. Could it be? No, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be uncommon, right? Teenage sons' friends have crush on parents all the time. It's usually the, attractive mother, but see why not?
Why not?
Why couldn't it be an attractive father? The actual solution is the same. Do not do anything to potentially lead them on in any shape, manner, or form.
Nothing.
You don't have to be. You don't have to be obsessive about avoiding them, but you just do absolutely nothing.
You ignore it, basically.
Yeah. And you maybe even be mindful to maybe, make sure you have a shirt on, even if around the pool.
Don't swim in with them.
Don't go swimming with them. Yeah, there's those type of things. Same thing an attractive woman would not do around a young boy, your friend's friend, your son's friend, who might be same kind of thing. The solution is no different. So, modern age, man.
I was mindful. I'm always mindful around teenage boys to not be skimpy clothes, because that's just rude.
Yeah, keep your shirt on.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, don't have to be obsessive, but keep your shirt on, just as a precaution. Oh yeah.
Had to ask people to watch their kids at a party. They want to invite the child, but the child, a couple of them, okay, but they're rambunctious because they're 5, and she totally accepts that they're 5. This is gonna happen, but their parents need to step up their game. She feels these kids are dead. She's seen them at parties before, and they're just thrown to the winds.
Then don't invite them,
because
the parents aren't going to, unless you are comfortable having an uncomfortable conversation before you give an invitation. Don't invite them. I understand why you want to, like a school party thing, whatnot. You invite all the 5-year-olds, but then again, I'm kind of rude like that. I don't invite the people I don't want. So I don't think just because you're 5, you have to invite people to your party. That I never understood that. Now, would I allow my child to exclude one person from a class? No, I'd cancel the whole party if he's going to do that. But well, unless there was a reason, like is the class bully? No, the class bully gets excluded. Yeah, that type of thing. But in a sense, you could make an argument. This is the class bully type situation. Kids can't behave themselves. The parents refuse to put them in check. So why do you want them at your party? It's going to spoil the party for everybody. The party's not for them.
She just feels bad.
Yeah, well, she should feel bad for the rest of the children if those children are there, and she's going to if that's what happens. So the question is, what's gonna?
Yeah.
Yeah. So unless you're comfortable having a conversation with those parents before you give them an invitation, it's like, hey, I would really like to invite your child to the party, but I've seen them at other parties. They get overly rambunctious, and I just don't want that thing at my, at, if you're willing to have that conversation, most of us don't want the confrontation, so just don't invite them. Is it too bad for the kids? Well, yes and no. Yes and no. Okay. What's next?
Is it okay to leave the 3-year-old alone in the kitchen with something on the stove? Okay, husband was like frying chicken,
Uh-huh.
and then he left to go look for something in another room.
Uh-huh.
And the 3-year-old was in the kitchen, and mom walked in, and OMG, right?
Well, here's the answer. It depends on the 3-year-old. Is the 3-year-old tall and rambunctious enough to go up there and grab on the stove, or is they not? The 3-year-old can't reach it, can't get to it, and generally speaking has no interest in it because it's not their personality, then it's fine. If it's a rambunctious 3-year-old, like one of my boys, no. So it depends. Like I could have left Michael. He would have been fine. Could have left Michael sitting there, gone off and done something while something's on the stove and come back and he would have still been sitting there. None of the other ones? No. So it depends. It depends. It depends on a whole laundry list of situations. I wouldn't immediately panic. Assess everything that happens. There's no universal rules. How do you think people have survived this long if those were the rules of society? No one could ever have gotten anything done. We'd all have starved a long time ago because we couldn't cook because the stinking 3-year-old's here. Nothing would have ever got done. We forget that, for a lot of us, we were latchkey kids at 5 and 6 years old, 7 years old. It wasn't that long ago. I'm only 55. Walked home from school at 6 years old. Most of us survived. The ones who didn't, quite frankly, were the ones who climbed up on electrical towers and beat on them. So, that's beyond. Yeah. Anyway. So is it okay? It depends. How's that?
Depends on your child.
Depends on the child, the circumstances, the height of your stove. Did you put the handle out or in? Blah, 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 blah. So.
Now we have some more questions.
All right.
In my company, every employee leaves at 5 p.m. This is starting to take a toll on the company's profit margins. As a CEO, how do I get those workers to go the extra mile to provide more value to the company?
Well, do you go the extra mile for your employees? You asking more from them than you are willing to give them? That overtime not enough to keep them there? And that's a mere question. But the question is, why would you expect them to stay past their end of their time?
They have lives.
So if it's getting into your profit margins, the other question to ask is, why are you so inefficient now? If you used to be able to get this done and now you can't, you're inefficient. Why? Again, that's a mirror question. It's probably poor leadership, and that's a mirror question. You need to stand in the mirror and say, why am I a bad leader? And that's how you answer that question. You're asking the wrong question. So, okay.
How do those of you working corporate jobs manage to deal with the bull?
Well, you accept that corporate jobs, just like say a government job, has its bureaucracy and nitpicking and cultures
Little clicks.
that you have to deal with. It
Yeah.
just is what it is. And the other side of that is okay, you could go off and you could work for small firms or go independent, but those have their own large set of issues to deal with. There ain't no green grass, man. It's all brown and dead and dying. So you just have to choose which grass you prefer. That's it. You deal with it. One of the things is the amount of bull you're willing to put up with could be in the direct proportion to the size of your paycheck based upon your age and experience, blah, blah. But some people thrive in that kind of an environment, actually. So, what you call bull, other people call, bullfighting, and they thrive in it. Find the environment that suits you. That's my answer to that. Okay.
Can my employer see my stuff if I'm logged into my personal phone?
I'm assuming you mean if you logged into the Wi-Fi on your phone, they can see your traffic. They can see where you're going, the websites you're going to, blah, blah, blah. But they can't see inside your phone unless you've given them access by downloading a company app or something like that. But here's the thing. With the world of 5G, why are you using their Wi-Fi? Your 5G is faster than their Wi-Fi, so why would you use their Wi-Fi? Stop it. Then it doesn't matter. You're not going to have access to anything. But yes, assuming that that's your personal phone, if you have a company phone or a company laptop or your company desktop computer, yeah, they can see everything you do. I always assume that. They may or may not look, but they can. That's always the assumption.
Yeah, I didn't know that one time.
Yeah.
In one job that I
Yeah, it's not yours.
had.
Yeah, anything that's not yours.
Oops.
Yeah. Okay.
How do you spot coworkers who are being extremely fake nice?
What do you care? As long as they're being nice to you during your work hours, what do you care if it's fake or not? They don't really like you. So what? They're not your friend. They're your coworker. What do you care if they're being fake nice? You're there to do a job. But generally speaking, if you're questioning it, then it's probably true.
Who cares?
Yeah,
It's my thing.
Yeah.
You want to be nice? You're just trying to be nice. Just be fake nice. But I'm not going to trust you.
Yeah.
Really?
How many people at work should you actually trust anyway? Yeah. So it doesn't. So again, it doesn't matter. You'll never know the difference. That's a good thing. Right. Okay. What's next?
My coworker has half my workload and gets recognition. I have twice the workload, and if I don't do overtime to keep up, I just get criticized. How do I cope?
Why do I have a suspicion that you're not actually having the same workload? Or what you're calling workload is not actually workload. You can have the same job, but some jobs are harder than others. Some jobs take more effort than others. Some jobs are worth more than others. Some jobs need more accuracy than others. There's lots of reasons. Maybe your friend doesn't make mistakes, and maybe you're fast. Maybe your coworker doesn't make mistakes. You might be faster, but if someone has to come behind you and fix things all the time, he's more valuable. They're the ones you can trust. I suspect it's quality here that they're actually talking about.
I see.
And not all workloads are the same. Even in something like where you're working in a warehouse, you can give, here's your order, here's your order. Now you think, oh, well, you have the same workload. What you don't see is one order is really complicated to put together and make sure you get right. And another order is really simple to put together and work right. So this guy's going to take twice as long. So you come back, you're done, you get another order, you go off and go, you're doing simple orders and getting things wrong. He's doing complicated orders and getting things right. And then you're going, well, why am I not getting recognized? Because you're not doing the same job. That's why. And my guess is you're not willing to acknowledge this. You're looking at some number of orders or something, a simple perspective on it rather than, okay, what's really happening? Jane over there is getting all the important customers, the complicated work, all the stuff that can't have a mistake. I'm getting the basic stuff, and I'm still messing up 10% of them. Yeah, guess who's going to get rewarded? Not you. What's going to happen? Jane over there is going to have her office full of awards and stars and people patting her on the back and salespeople coming over. Thanks for saving my butt. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. So, how do you cope? Get good, son. Okay, what's next?
What are some phrases or words you have to know while working an office job? The one that still gets me is synergy.
Oh, they don't use synergy anymore.
Thank goodness. What does that mean?
I don't know.
And you have to, and you partner with people.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Every industry has its own nomenclature, terminology that they use to describe whatever they're doing. And that's what you have to learn.
Particular vernacular.
Yeah. Now, if it's in marketing, it's going to be one type of vernacular. If it's in, if it's in engineering, it's going to be another, depending upon the, if it's electrical engineering, it's going to have one type. If it's mechanical engineering, it's going to have another type. So whatever it is, whatever it is you're doing, it's going to have its own manner of speaking. And part of your adjustment period is learning that language. So make an effort to learn the language. Okay.
What do you do that allows you to work a few hours a day but get paid good?
Be very good at your job so that you're valuable enough that you can earn what other people would call a day's pay in a couple hours. There's the story of this old ship has a engine broken down. No one knows how to fix it. So they call this old timer. The guy comes out, he looks at it, talks to the people, say what's wrong. He looks at it, he takes out a hammer, he hits it in one spot, it starts running, and he sends him a $10,000 bill. And he says, wait, why am I paying you $10,000? No, you did not pay me $10,000. You pay me $10,000 for knowing where to hit it. The rest of you couldn't fix it. I knew where to hit it. You're paying me $10,000. Because no one else could fix it. And the point is, he had specialized knowledge that no one else had. And so his time was invaluable because what that place couldn't afford to do was replace that engine. Would have cost millions. So yeah, they paid him the $10,000. So specialized knowledge is what makes you valuable. Doing something that nobody else can do, and in this case, doing it faster than anybody else can do. This is the problem with being paid by the hour. People who work fast, people with specialized knowledge, you have to charge a lot to make up for your knowledge. Just think of you're a mechanic. If you're a crappy mechanic, you're good enough. You're technically able to get the job done, but you're slow. It takes you 10 hours to get a job done. And the book says that job's $500, a $500 job. You're making $50 an hour. But other guy, he's fast. He can get the same job done in 2 hours. So how much should he get paid? He should get paid $500 because he did the same job. He just did it fast. So you want to know how to work. That's how you do it. Be good. Quite simple. Okay.
Is it a bad idea to submit negative feedback about your director?
It depends on your director, and some people thrive on it, and others don't. Others will hold it against you. Like I did a workshop a couple weeks ago, or last week, and I told them, I'm going to send you guys a survey thing, and I need you to be nitpicky. I need you to tell me all the things I did wrong. Everything I need it. I can't get better unless you guys tell me where I didn't do well. Not everybody takes that kind of criticism. Not everybody can handle that. So if you give that kind of criticism to some people, and they have a power over your future, it can be detrimental. Others would appreciate it. So it's going to depend.
You got to know your director.
Yeah. Or you know your chain of command, and maybe you can go around and talk to somebody else, but is it gonna trickle back down to them? So okay.
I recently got promoted and have an older employee that reports to me who resents my promotion. He is very respected and influential among the team. He told me he plans to make my life hell and is an informal leader of the team. What would you do?
This is when you go have a conversation with the person who promoted you. And the reason is because they're going to have to be the ones to have your back when whatever decision you need to make. He's going to have to be the ones to be prepared to let go of a respected employee because he can't handle the truth. That he's not really cut out for the promotional job, and this is why. You're just proving his point. The guy is literally proving the point why you didn't get it promoted. This is why. You can't be trusted to put the team and the company ahead of yourself. Why you didn't get promoted. Now you can tell him that. You could be absolutely blunt with this employee and tell him, look, I realize your mistake, but you're proving why you didn't get the job. And if you've had this conversation with your supervisors before, you're going in there, and the leverage he thinks he has, he doesn't have. Obviously, if he had any real leverage, he would have gotten the promotion.
He would have gotten the promotion
a long time ago.
He has a reputation.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
and that's not gonna. It's not gonna keep your job, your reputation.
No, the older employee is essentially running his time with the company out at this stage, whether he knows it or not. He's either going to go or he's going to get let go. So, I give it 6 months either way. Okay.
How would you handle an employee who refuses to attend staff meetings but is a great performer?
Make your staff meetings useful. The reason he doesn't go is because there's no point for him going. It's a waste of his time. He knows it. And he knows that you're not going to let him go because you need him. So the point is either to make your staff meetings useful, so it actually not a waste of time. It's not just a waste of time for him. It's a waste of time for everybody else. This is a big flashing warning sign that your staff meetings are pointless. So improve your staff meetings. And here's what I say. If your staff meeting is more than 45 minutes, you're doing it wrong. So get him in, get him out, make him informative. And if this person doesn't need it, then he doesn't need it. Some people get exceptions. If you're that good, you get exceptions. If it's that good, he gets exceptions. It's how life works. Works that way on a football field. Works that way on a baseball team. Works that way in business. It works that way everywhere. So that's what you do. First thing is, it's a big flat warning sign that your meetings are pointless. So change the way you do meetings. And it may be maybe changing the time. Maybe the time is he's got other things that are more important to making you money at your time of your staff meeting. So if you want him to go, you have to change the timing to the time that will work because he's got a big client or something that he's taking care of, or that's his, that's a routine time for sales meetings or whatever. So there could be that. But my guess is your meetings are just a complete waste of time. You're sitting there going, this could have been an email. And yeah. Okay. We're on to our intimacy questions, and we'll get through these real quick. All right.
I love this one.
Okay.
My girlfriend has a praise kink, but lacks effort in bed. She's a cold fish, but she wants to be praised for what little she does.
Well, there's the sarcasm praise. Give her a sarcastic praise, I suppose. I'm not sure she's gonna be your girlfriend that much longer, but I don't know. There comes a point, right, where you can't do much but the sarcastic praise in that situation. There's just nothing left. Because I'm not lying to you. So the only way you can honestly do that is to have it our sarcastic praise and have any honor with yourself and your partner. So that's my suggestion for what it is. Okay, what's next?
Should I surprise my partner with self-bondage so she can't peg me?
What? So she can't or so she can?
Can't.
Now that makes me, I don't understand the connection.
Well, he's trying to avoid it.
Yes, but how is him tying himself up going to avoid it? It's just making it more probable that it's going to happen.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he thought that one through. Is what I think happened on that one. Okay, just tell her you don't want it, and if she can't respect it, then it's the same way as if it was the other way around.
I agree.
Okay.
How can I orgasm with my partner the way I orgasm when I'm alone?
Well, you can't.
Sorry, can't.
No, because the situation is completely different, and so of course your orgasm is going to be different. So in this case, your expectation is unrealistic. Sorry, there's no better answer than that. Okay.
I'm torn between wanting to explore and my inability to do anything casual.
There's not really a tear between there. What you need is to find yourself a long-term partner so it's not casual. And then you have the freedom to explore your little heart's desires. There's not a contradiction in there.
No, you can explore when you're within a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
You can practice by yourself. Okay.
Absolutely.
What's next?
Should I need to ask to do why should I need to ask to do the kinks I enjoy every time? He's tired of having to ask.
Well, you probably shouldn't do your kinks every time. Maybe that's the actual problem. But so that would be respect your partner a little bit. Maybe they want some normalcy on occasion.
I thought of that.
Yeah. So there's my answer to that one.
Okay.
Yeah. The every time thing drives me crazy. Why would you be asking for your kinks every time? Respect your partner's desire for normalcy as well. Okay.
Okay, last question of the evening.
Okay.
He refuses to finish unless I do, and this puts a lot of pressure on me.
Well, I suppose you could make an argument that you should feel lucky and he's worried about your pleasure. It's, so you need to, here's how you deal with this one. You need to help him understand that you don't always need to finish in order for it to be a pleasurable experience.
I was just thinking that. You have no idea. You can get close and it come down, and you're perfectly fine.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
Men and women are built different, and most men don't understand. Because we get built up and get close, and it's not perfectly fine. It's not like it's not the same thing. So, but it's a different tension release, right? Men and women have a different way. We always, men and women release tensions differently.
We cry.
Yeah. So, explain to him that you don't need to completely finish in order for you to be finished.
Yeah,
it would be the explanation there, and back in our day, you could point him to a Dr. Ruth Westheimer, but
because that's true.
Now you can point him to us.
Orgasm should not be the goal. It is the intimacy and the feeling of completion with or without the orgasm.
Yeah, there you go. That's Lubby's interpretation of Dr. Ruth Westheimer. And on that note, we are out of here. Thank you for joining us. We can find us here next week. Have a good night. And please remember to love everybody.
Good.